All right, so we're gonna try out the bone tool in Adobe Flash CC 2015, and we're gonna give it a whirl and see how it works. Um, for the most part, I mean, it does technically work, but I've never found that it works actually very well. In fact, I usually find out that it doesn't work very well at all. But I'm gonna show it to you simply because it has a lot of good learning things to it. So I'm creating bends in the elbows, and I'm just using my brush tool. I'm going to create bends in the knees and a foot. Same thing here. And now I've got my little armature character. So using the bone tool, it's not so much the bone tool itself, it's the way it's bound to the drawing. So I'm selecting my bone tool, and I'm going to select from the waist, and I'm going to start there. And this is basically the root of my controller. From here I can click and drag from that joint to the knee, and then click and drag one more time to the ankle, and click and drag one last time here to the end of the foot. Do the same thing on this side. From here, we're going to go up the spine. I'm going to give one spine joint just so you can bend it at the, and then I'm going to go up, one at the head, one at the chest, and then one to the top of the head. From here, I'm going to branch out, go to this point and to this point. We'll see how well it works in this version. Like I said, I had not tried it yet in 2015. And in order to animate, now you'll see it says armature 1. And I'm just going to armature stick figure. I can now delete this layer 1. And you're going to notice, I'm just going to take this out to like 120 frames. You're going to notice this is like a bright green. So what you can do I'm going to just go every 10 poses, or every 10 frames I'm going to create a pose. You can actually start to move this thing around. Wow, that's working very well. Surprisingly. Okay, so every 10 frames I'm going to create a pose. And I'm not trying to do anything. Wow, this is really impressive. It's actually not creating all types of crazy wonkiness happening in the a little bit, but it actually did a much better job than it did the previous time. The previous version I've used this in, so not too shabby there. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new pose. See how it does. Over. And I'm not going for anything. I'm just creating. Yeah, it definitely has improved a little bit. Do a little kung fu scene here. As if they're on the mountain with the sun at their back, with a strong silhouette on them. You need 2 of them probably, where he's just practicing his kung fu on the top of a mountain. It's sort of what I'm going for at the moment. Oh. This is the root control, which moves the entire thing. So as far as actual full movement, you'd have to use the arrow keys to slide them over and left and right. But it seems to work very, very well. So the way this works is it's sort of got like an IK setup. But it's mostly it's an FK setup because when I move the spine, everything else moves with it. But it's really not too bad. You can do a whole bunch of stuff in here to adjust the setup. It calls it an IK bone. So you can pin joints as well. And now you can create little IK sequences, which is really, really neat. So messing around with this, it's improved quite a bit actually. And yeah, that's really all there is to it. So you can create animations with this. And in order to, looks like in order to reset some of these things, you can just click off, hopefully. No. Still not the strongest tool, but yeah, now that I've created some pins and whatnot, it's not working exactly great, but I think with some tweaking, you could get some really great results with this. There we go. Cool. So anyway, you kind of get the idea. And there are instances where it does not want to work right. So when you get weird distortion like that, you can see why in the line work there on the bottom right corner of the head. It sort of intersects one another and then it becomes invisible. You can adjust the binding of this by using the bind tool itself. However, it just still, you see how it binds it. It still doesn't work very, very, very well. So I'm trying to get it to not intersect like that, but the way it works, it's just not going to cooperate. So that's my biggest bugaboo about this particular tool is that the bind tool does not, no matter what. So I've messed with it, but now it's like staying locked there. So I would have to adjust it even more. And it's never been anything that's been very, very good as far as how it should be working. And I'm going to try it doesn't seem to be doing anything when it's locked up to the head. So I'm going to try and move it to this neck part and see if that does anything. A completely different joint. And it looks like you could assign it to multiple joints, but it doesn't seem to be working very well. So that's the bone tool in a nutshell. It can be effective, but it needs to be used correctly. But it seems to be a little bit better this year than it has in previous years. So that's a bonus. But go ahead, see what you can do with it, and thanks for watching.